August 26th, 2023. Pusher Street, Copenhagen. A Hells Angels associate collapses after being shot 30 times. 4 others hit the ground wounded. Tourists scatter in panic. Danish police close clubhouses across the country. Sound familiar? 30 years ago, anti-tank rockets tore through Scandinavian neighborhoods. 11 people died, 96 wounded. The Nordic Biker War turned peaceful streets into war zones. Now, the signs are unmistakable. History is repeating itself. The 1997 peace treaty was supposed to end it forever. Hells Angels and Bandidos shook hands on live television. But that handshake is worthless now. The clubs are back, the violence is escalating, and Scandinavia might be heading for Biker War 2.0. The original war, January 1994, Helsingborg, Sweden. The first shots of the Nordic Biker War echoed through a nightclub. Joachim Boman, a Hells Angels supporter, went down in the crossfire, dead at the scene. 1 week later, the Bandidos responded with something nobody expected: an anti-tank rocket fired directly at the Hells Angels clubhouse in Helsingborg. This wasn't some street gang beef over turf. This was military-grade warfare. Between 1994 and 1997, Scandinavia became a battlefield. The Hells Angels controlled 290 members across 15 chapters. The Bandidos had 130 members in 7 chapters. Both clubs wanted the same thing: complete control over Scandinavia's drug trade. Amphetamines from Poland, hashish from Morocco, cocaine flowing through Copenhagen's ports into the rest of Europe. The weapons arsenal read like a military inventory. Between 1994 and 1997, at least 36 break-ins occurred at Swedish Army and Danish Home Guard installations. Stolen: 16 anti-tank rockets, 10 machine guns, 300 handguns, 67 fully automatic rifles, 205 rifles, hundreds of hand grenades, land mines, and 17 kilograms of explosives. March 10th, 1996. Copenhagen Airport. Bandidos members returning from Helsinki walked into an ambush. Hells Angels opened fire with automatic weapons in the arrivals area. Ulf Larsson, Bandidos Southside president, died in the parking lot. 3 others wounded. Terrified travelers hit the floor. Within hours, an identical attack unfolded at Oslo Airport in Norway. But the deadliest attack came 7 months later. October 6th, 1996. The Hells Angels threw their annual Viking party at their Copenhagen clubhouse on Titengade. Over 150 people attended, including local residents invited through neighborhood posters. The Angels were trying to improve public relations. At 3:25 a.m., a Bandidos prospect named Niels Poulsen crouched in a building 50 meters away. He'd received anti-tank training in the Danish military. He aimed a Carl Gustaf recoilless rifle at the clubhouse and fired. The explosion tore through the building. Jana Krohn, a 29-year-old woman and single mother who lived nearby, died instantly. Hells Angels member Louis Linde Nielsen was killed. 19 others suffered serious injuries. 12 bystanders were wounded when shrapnel ripped through the neighborhood. Danish Prime Minister Poul Nyrup Rasmussen called it abominable. Within days, the government passed the Rockerloven, the Rocker Act, giving police unprecedented power to shut down clubhouses and evict gang members. By 1997, 138 people received prison sentences totaling 240 years. Several got life imprisonment. The violence finally ended on September 25th, 1997. Bandidos Europe President Big Jim Tindon and Hells Angels. Europe President Bent Blondie Nielsen appeared before television cameras in Denmark. They shook hands. The war was over. Both clubs agreed. No new chapters would open in enemy territory. Final toll: 11 dead. 74 attempted murders. 96 wounded. Scandinavia had survived Europe's deadliest biker war. The fragile peace. For 14 years, the treaty held. Both clubs moved members into Spain and Italy, focusing on European drug smuggling routes. Morocco's hashish flowed through Spain into northern Europe. The Hells Angels and Bandidos operated in an uneasy truce. Then, in 2011, everything changed. Bandidos president Jim Tindon declared the 1997 peace agreement null and void. His reason? The Hells Angels had admitted 6 Bandidos defectors into their ranks. The treaty was dead. In 2012, a 17-ton truck with a brick jammed on the accelerator plowed into a Bandidos property. No casualties, but the message was clear. The old enemies were circling each other again. Danish police ramped up surveillance. They had learned from the 1990s. They knew the warning signs. They knew when to intervene. For years, they managed to keep the lid on. But by 2023, new pressures were building. The traditional power structure was crumbling. New players, old enemies. August 2023. The conflict that would trigger everything started at Christiania in Copenhagen, the same neighborhood that had been a flashpoint in the original war. A Hells Angels associate was shot 30 times at Pusher Street. 4 others wounded, including 2 tourists. The shooter? Connected to Loyal to Familia, a hybrid street gang that united immigrant youth gangs under biker club structure. Danish police immediately closed multiple Hells Angels clubhouses across Copenhagen, Randers, Aalborg, and Kolding. The closures extended through 2024. Police described an ongoing conflict between Hells Angels and Loyal to Familia over cannabis trade in Christiania. September 9th, 2023. An explosion ripped through the Hells Angels clubhouse on Svanevej in Copenhagen. 2 men, a 28-year-old Danish citizen affiliated with Loyal to Familia, and a 20-year-old Swedish citizen were arrested and remanded in custody. But the real earthquake came in May 2024. Danish police issued a temporary ban on Bandidos MC in Denmark. Lasse Boye, head of Denmark's National Special Crime Unit, was blunt. The group's activities pose both a serious threat to citizens' lives and safety, but also to public order. Their violence must stop now. The ban prohibited members from using clubhouses, holding meetings, or wearing their insignia. In the past decade, Danish Bandidos had been involved in at least 10 violent conflicts with other criminal groups. Members were convicted of murder, attempted murder, assault, and drug trafficking. The Danish government moved to permanently dissolve the club under constitutional provisions, allowing dissolution of organizations that promote violence. October 30th, 2025. The Helsinger court ruled, Bandidos, MC Denmark was permanently dissolved under Section 78 of the Danish Constitution. The court found the club operated as a criminal organization engaged in serious organized crime. All clubhouses shut down. All insignia seized. Anyone continuing the association's activities would face criminal charges. Bandidos immediately appealed, but the damage was done. He knew landscape. While Bandidos faced extinction and Hells Angels battled new enemies, a third force emerged: the Comanches. The Comanches, formerly known as Satudara, represent something different. They're a Danish-founded hybrid club that merges traditional biker culture with immigrant street gang structure. In Denmark, they have 170 members. In Sweden, about 20. They've expanded into Spain, Morocco, Vietnam, and Thailand. October 2024, reports from Swedish research organization Acta Publica painted a stark picture. Hells Angels in Sweden have become a shadow of their former self. The club is struggling to recruit young members. Meanwhile, hybrid gangs like Comanches recruit aggressively from immigrant communities and street gangs. In July 2024, Comanches entered a violent conflict with an unnamed Danish criminal group allied to the Rumba network. Swedish teenagers were arrested in Denmark after being hired to carry out attacks on Comanches leadership family members. The conflict reportedly involved a stolen drug consignment and ended only after Comanches paid reparations. The Hells Angels haven't gone quietly. In Gothenburg, Hells Angels threatened to kill a former member who defected to the Comanches. Police warn this could spark a new interclub war. The old guard is weakened, the new players are aggressive, and everyone wants control of the same criminal enterprises. Drug trafficking routes from Spain through Scandinavia, cannabis trade in Copenhagen, cocaine smuggling through Danish ports. The question: all 3 major biker groups, Hells Angels, Bandidos, and Comanches, have been involved in gang conflicts in recent years. Norton, a Danish police expert, stated, "Hells Angels, Bandidos, Comanches all have representation in southern Spain, close to Malaga. It's a strategic position where the goods come in." The parallels to 1994 are impossible to ignore. The parallels to 1994 are impossible to ignore. Territorial conflicts over drug trade, weapons charges, violence spilling into public spaces with civilians caught in crossfire. The Danish government has taken aggressive action, dissolving bandidos, closing clubhouses, constant surveillance. But the Bandidos dissolution hasn't eliminated the members, it's scattered them. The Hells Angels face pressure from multiple fronts. The Comanches are expanding rapidly. The ingredients for Biker War 2.0 are assembled. Competing criminal organizations, territorial disputes, violent incidents, weapons, and decades of grudges. What's missing is the spark, one major attack that spirals beyond control. The original Nordic Biker War took 11 lives and wounded 96 people before peace came in 1997. That peace lasted 14 years before crumbling. Now, in 2025, with Bandidos dissolved, Hells Angels under siege, and Comanches rising, Scandinavia stands at the edge. The question isn't whether these clubs remember how to go to war. They proved that in the 1990s with anti-tank rockets and airport shootings. The question is whether Danish authorities can stop them before the streets become battlefields again. Because if history has taught us anything, it's that when pride and profit collide in the biker world, peace is always the first casualty.